Hello, everybody, and welcome into another edition of On the Road with the AHSAA Radio Network. Brett and Lauren, once again in Birmingham. It looks like all roads lead to Birmingham this year, Lauren, but we're here at Wenonah High School as the second round of the playoffs is about to happen this Friday. Wenonah will host Moody, so it's going to be a great football game right here on this field where we're standing. And, Lauren, we're excited about it. This program is brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation each and every week. So we want to thank them, but, man, we're excited about this game. Second round of the playoffs already, Lauren.
It's hard to believe. I feel like we just started this show and we've been going around the state for quite a few weeks now, but it's like we just blinked our eyes and we're at the end of the road for football season.
It's crazy. It goes by fast here in the state. You blink and it's Christmas time. I mean, Thanksgiving's only a couple of weeks away. And so going to catch up with Coach Howard here in just a little bit. Excited about that. They've had a great season. They finished the regular season 7-3. They had a crazy win in overtime over Russellville last week, 30-28. So I'm going to get to talk to him about that. And it's kind of been their theme all year. They've kind of been the cardiac kids figuring out a way to win football games. And that's the kind of teams you don't like to play if you're an opponent coming into their place, because it doesn't matter at this point what your talent level is. You're playing great football, and Wenonah's playing great football.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like their kids have a really good mindset. No matter where they are in the game, in their program, in their season, they know that a win is at the end of it for them, and that's exciting to see kids that just really have a headstrong mentality, that the W is all they're looking for.
No doubt about it. And they'll be looking for another W here on Friday night in the second round of the playoffs. They won a state championship back in 2015. Coach Howard was the offensive coordinator for that football team, so he knows what it takes to win state championships. And, of course, Jake Gaines, we caught up with him earlier in the year. They've been one of those teams that a lot of people have talked about in 5A all year long about how they may be one of the favorites, and there they are at the top of 5A, and I think they're number 3 in the state. And so they'll bring that number 3 ranking in here to play Wenonah. Rankings really don't matter at this point, Lauren. Like you just said, it's all about who's playing the best, and it's game to game at this point. You made a phone call this week and set us up with a place about 6 miles up the road called Rodney Scott's, and I'm going to tell you something, barbecue at its finest. We've been to some outstanding places in this state, Lauren, but this one right here, as you'll see a little bit later on in the show, this may be one of the best.
We were sitting there eating, and you and I both were looking at each other, and I think we both thought the same thing. We were mentally ranking all the places that we've been. Not to say that they all haven't been incredible, but this one just stood out. Everything was absolutely wonderful. You will see later on in the show, so keep watching. How incredible the food looks is how incredible the food tastes. It was literally amazing.
It was. We need smell-o-vision. We could get rich if you could smell the food at these places through the camera. It's 80 degrees out here. It's the second week of November, Lauren. This is unbelievable weather. We've been blessed. Every week we go on the road, it's been outstanding weather. This is kind of crazy for second week of November. We really haven't had a cold spell yet.
No, we haven't. And every time that we get on the road, it's like God just looks down and says, I'm not going to let it rain today. We've had no rain, which is incredible.
Right.
And we were just talking about how it is so warm and we can sit here and complain. But I know there are a lot of northern states that probably look at us and they're so jealous because we're out here in short sleeves.
Right.
So, you can definitely pour the cup half full rather than half empty. But it's been beautiful weather. It really has.
Back here in the city of Birmingham, excited to bring you some cool things also today as we travel around this great city, and so many great football programs while we keep coming up here and they keep picking the game of the week. Lauren, we do want to remind everybody to drive safe. The Drive Safe Alabama campaign from the Alabama Department of Transportation reminding you not to text and drive. Don't drink and drive. Obviously, that's a given. But put your phones down. Don't speed. Work zones, please be mindful. Those are husbands, those are wives, those are somebody's child that are working on the road, and there's too many accidents that happen in these work zones, Lauren, and we got to be mindful of these workers as we all travel through these work zones. And speed is the number one contributing factor to fatal car accidents. So lower that speed limit. Make sure you're mindful of the people around you, and do not be distracted. I think I saw a fact, Lauren, that you can travel the length of a football field going 55 miles an hour in about 4 seconds.
Wow.
And that's about the average that it takes to sit down and look at a text. When you glance, you've really gone the entire length of this field in that amount of time, and that is a lot of ground to cover where your eyes are not on the road.
Absolutely. We were actually en route up here and noticed an accident in the Chelsea area. And, when you notice those accidents and you see all these police cars rushing and ambulance, it's kind of this really heavy feeling. Even though you have no idea who that person is in the vehicle, we both felt the heaviness of what was going on in that situation. So you really need to remember that easily could be you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're excited again to be up here at Wenonah High School. We'll talk to Coach Howard here in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere. More of On the Road with the AHSAA Radio Network right after this.
Hey! Alabama has a hands-free driving law, which means you can't hold your mobile phone while you drive. And you can only use a single finger or swipe to answer a call. And you can't send or read a text message or watch or record video. It's a part of Alabama's Code of the Road, and knowing it helps you follow it. You can check out the law at drivesafealabama.org.
When we get home, right?
Right.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
With Amana brand, there's a level of trust. Trust that our quality products are reliable and innovative and backed by an outstanding warranty, letting you focus on what matters most. So it's no surprise that the Amana brand S-Series heating and cooling system provides comfort that blends with your lifestyle. It's slim, smart, quiet, and energy efficient. Exactly the kind of year-round comfort you'll feel, but hardly notice. Take comfort. It's an Amana brand.
All right, we're here on the field at Wenonah High School with Coach Nick Howard. Coach, thanks so much for letting us invade your territory here today and talk to you about your football team.
Hey, not a problem at all.
Had a little bit of a cardiac kids moment last week, right? In the first round of the playoffs, overtime win for you guys over Russellville. And before we dive into that and then talk about the game coming up this Friday with Moody, kind of go back on the reflection of the season. You and I were talking about this season. You said, look, the game last Friday was a reflection of what you guys have been all year. Yeah. Just fight to the end and find a way to win.
Yeah, absolutely. A resilient bunch. That's what we do. Blue collar team. That's what we just grind to the end. That this group of kids, I haven't seen them give up all season. So that's just what we've been doing.
Let's talk about some of your kids before we dive into last week. Talk about some of the leaders on this football team. Every team's got those guys that you rely on. Talk about some guys on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, so one of our leaders is Michael White. He tore his ACL up a couple of games back, and he's still one of the leaders on this team. Along with a junior, Amari Matthews. He's one of those guys that's just a young guy that he's been starting for a while, and I mean he's a strong leader for this team.
Coach, you go back a long way with this program. You were the offensive coordinator dating back to 2009. You were part of that 2015 state championship team. Mm-hmm. Does this team kind of remind you of maybe that championship team?
Yeah. From a depth standpoint, yeah, we didn't have a lot of depth back on that team, and so that's pretty much what we are here. We had a lot of young guys on that team, surprisingly, and it's pretty much the same here because, we got a lot of 10th graders playing on this team.
Well, you've had a successful season, obviously 7-3 in the regular season. Just won your first playoff game this past Friday against a good Russellville team. Now you got Moody coming in here. Moody was one of those teams that everybody in preseason kind of looked at and starred in 5A as maybe the favorite to win a state championship. But you got them coming to your place Friday. Kind of talk about that matchup.
Yeah, that's a good team, a big team actually. They're big, they're strong. So we just got to go in and just play Wenonah football and just play hard-nosed, blue-collar football.
What is it that you guys hang your hat on? I know you just said blue-collar football, but if you had to say offensively or defensively, what is it that you do? You look at the score Friday, it was 30-28. Obviously, did what it took to score enough points to win that game. But normally, if you had to pick one, which one do you hang your hat on?
We would go with defense this year. That's where the experience is. The defensive line with a few prospects on the defensive line. Our defensive coordinator is a young guy, and we just that's where the strength is this year on defense.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you taking some time out. We appreciate what you guys do. Looking forward to a great football game on Friday night between you guys and Moody, and good luck to you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
No business being out there. Terrible.
You know, I'm a person too.
Hey guys, we are here today at Rodney Scott's Barbecue in Homewood, and you guys, if you pulled up here, you would see it is packed out, smells amazing. So we want to ask you, what is the origination of Rodney Scott's Barbecue?
Yes, so Rodney Scott was from Charleston, South Carolina. Started with a small kind of a shack of a barbecue spot, worked his way up through competitions and just great whole hog barbecue. He's a James Beard Award winner. We serve James Beard Award winning food here. And and so this is one of about 5 stores, one in Trussville, here in Homewood, Atlanta, and obviously in Charleston. But the last one would be actually Chiefs in Nashville on Broadway, which is, I believe, Eric Church's bar. So we serve the food there as well.
Wow. Okay, so it is packed out here. Is it like this every day?
Yeah, we're pretty big during lunches, honestly. We got a lot of blue-collar and white-collar crowd here in Homewood. People come either from Chelsea all the way from Huntsville. We have people coming through, going to the beach, stopping by. They say they have to have Rodney Scott. So they've seen us on Netflix. They've seen Rodney Scott on the Today Show or wherever he's on doing press tours. But yeah, people they know the name. They have to come try it out.
Well, we're super excited. We have a table full of some really amazing food that smells wonderful, and we can't thank you guys enough for having us.
Yeah, thank you for guys coming out. Appreciate it.
With Amana brand, there's a level of trust, letting you focus on what matters most. So it's no surprise that the Amana brand S-Series heating and cooling system is exactly the kind of year-round comfort you'll feel, but hardly notice. Take comfort. It's an Amana brand.
Hey! Alabama has a hands-free driving law, which means you can't hold your mobile phone while you drive. And you can only use a single finger or swipe to answer a call. And you can't send or read a text message or watch or record video. It's a part of Alabama's Code of the Road, and knowing it helps you follow it. You can check out the law at drivesafealabama.org.
When we get home, right?
Right.
All right, Lauren, some of the fun things that we do on the road is find out-of-the-way, neat, cool places. I would never have come here if we didn't do this show, and that's a shame because this is cool. Red Mountain Park, right here about a mile from Wenonah High School. And you and I were looking at some things in preparation for this show, and they actually have an event. This is really a subdued, like, walking park. It's gorgeous up here. It's got a great view. But they've got an event coming up this week.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to read from here because if I don't, I will not tell you guys everything. But this Sunday, the 17th, they are doing Go Tell It on Red Mountain. And so it says Jefferson County Greenways is set to unveil Go Tell It on Red Mountain. It is an initiative aimed at delving into Birmingham's rich industrial history and the legacy of its historic company towns. It's actually a partnership company between Red Mountain and Alabama Humanities Alliance and the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And the project is ready to unveil. It will feature scholars with expertise on labor history, industrial history, race relations, and the lives of those who resided and worked on and around Red Mountain. How cool is that? So definitely if you're in the area this Sunday, this would be a great place to come by. Come by and set up a picnic. It's like Brett said, it's beautiful up here, and there's actually a neat event that's going to take place up here on Sunday.
Yeah, you and I just walked through for a little bit and got on one of the trails. The view is gorgeous. And again, how crazy is that? It seems like we always have perfect timing, a nice event that'll be happening here on Sunday. Don't let the road fool you. There's a road right here, but then you make the entrance into the park and you get kind of away from all that and you kind of remove yourself from the city. So really, really cool place. Red Mountain Park right here about a mile from Wenonah High School. Come check it out.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
With Amana brand, there's a level of trust. Trust that our quality products are reliable and innovative and backed by an outstanding warranty, letting you focus on what matters most. So it's no surprise that the Amana brand S-Series heating and cooling system provides comfort that blends with your lifestyle. It's slim, smart, quiet, and energy efficient. Exactly the kind of year-round comfort you'll feel, but hardly notice. Take comfort. It's an Amana brand.
Welcome back, everyone, to AHSAA TV Weekly. I am joined now by Moody head coach, Coach Jake Gaines. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I understand that you beat ARAB pretty handily last night, 49-7. Tell us about this team and just where you are. Where you think they are right now.
Yeah, it was a great game last night. I think it was the most complete game we played. You know, we've kind of pieced together a good offensive night, good defensive night, but I think, you know, all three phases played really well together. And you know, our schedule was really tough. We made a really tough schedule, and it was all for November and for these weeks right here to prepare us. So I feel like we're peaking at the right time, and you know, I'm really excited and proud of our kids.
Well, I know there's a lot of kids that you're proud of on your team. Can you name some of your playmakers so we can be watching?
Yeah, you know, I think offensively, Charlie Johnson, our quarterback, you know, starts with him, and you know, him and Josiah Dozier, our wide receiver, have really been connecting lately, and then we've got two big running backs, Bravis Cape Jr. and LaCameron Meadows, and they do a great job for us. And, our whole O-line, don't want to name like all 6 of them, but they do a really, really good job. And then defensively, we play about 15 guys, and they all, get after it. We play football the right way, and, just really proud of the guys.
Well, Coach, the victory last night bought you a ticket to an away game at Wenonah next week. A good team. How much do you know about Wenonah?
Not much. Not much. I know they have a really good defense. Just looked at their record and the scores, and I know they're holding opponents, I think, under 10 a game pretty much all year. They, our only common opponent was Center Point. Both played Bessemer City, and it was similar. So that's about it. We'll talk to Coach today, and we'll get the film swapped, and we'll get to work.
Well, Coach, tell me a little bit about the student body and the community there at Moody and how they've really supported this team.
Yeah, we have the best community. I think being in I'd say a smaller town, it's definitely growing, but it still has the small town feel to it. I think the community drives athletics and it drives the school, and it starts with our mayor and our city council, and they're super supportive, and our board of education and our superintendent, and everybody's just kind of pushing and pulling the right way. And you see things starting to change. We're building a brand new high school. We're building a new athletic facility that all sports are going to use. And it's just like a really, really exciting time. But it starts with our community and our fans and our support.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of exciting things happening. Your game against Wenonah is the AHSAA WOTM game of the week. So that'll be a statewide broadcast. We'll all be watching. And that's good luck in that game. The rest of the way, we hope to see you in Protective Stadium.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. And we'll be right back after this on AHSAA TV Weekly.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
We open this week's highlights with not one, but 2 long-distance touchdowns that earned their way into the AHSAA record books. We take you first to Class 3A first-round playoff game with midfield at Mars Hill Friday night. Junior defensive back Isaiah Owens had 3 interceptions during the game, including this pick 6, which he returned 105 yards for a touchdown. He outlegged the midfield Patriots on his spectacular return and finished the night with 141 return yards on all 3 interceptions as Mars Hill rolled to a 69-40 win over the visiting Patriots. Caden Chandler also rushed for 119 yards and 4 touchdowns, and William Mann completed 8 of 9 passes for 153 yards and 3 scores as the Panthers advanced to this week's second round of the AHSAA Class 3A playoffs. Pleasant Grove High School, coached by Daryl LeBeau, posted a 61-21 victory over Strawn in the first round of the Class 4A playoffs last week, thanks in part to an explosive offense highlighted by a record-tying 99-yard touchdown on a simple screen pass. Leading 14-0 in the first half on 2 short runs by Colin Moore, the Spartans found themselves backed up to their own 1-yard line when LeBeau called on quarterback Caleb Freeman to run a simple screen pass. Turned out to be sensational. Freeman took the pass behind the line and in the end zone, broke down the field, cutting through the Bulldogs' defense, finding a seam near the 30-yard line, and raced untouched the rest of the way for his 3rd TD of the night. While he ran over 100 yards with the reception, it officially was 99 yards from the line of scrimmage, which ties the AHSAA state record for the longest pass. Ironically, the Spartans had another 99-yarder last season. Pleasant Grove led 42-7 by halftime and cruised to a 61-21 win to move into this week's second round of the AHSAA state playoffs to host St. Michael Catholic. Alabama Christian Academy, coached by Michael Summers, staged an incredible comeback to defeat unbeaten Glenwood 46-42 Friday night in the first round of the Class 3A state playoffs. The Gators, in their first season in the AHSAA, jumped out to a 20-0 lead early and led 35-13 in the second quarter before the visiting Eagles began their dramatic comeback effort. Running back David Ortiz Ramirez rushed for 282 yards and scored 3 touchdowns for ACA, and quarterback Christian Christian Snipes contributed a critical 61-yard touchdown pass to AC Walters early in the fourth quarter, setting up a final surge with Walters scoring 2 more TDs on 1-yard runs to seal the win. Glenwood was one of 17 teams entering the playoffs unbeaten and was the only unbeaten team to fall in the first round. Alabama Christian advances to the second round this week to host Bayside Academy at Faulkner University in Montgomery. Birmingham's Wenonah High School Dragons, coached by Nickolas Howard, went on the road to Russellville in the first round of the 5A state playoffs and escaped with a 30-28 overtime win. Russellville initially gained momentum with key plays by Cam Finese, who racked up 137 rushing yards to take a 22-8 lead at halftime. Wenonah mounted a comeback in the second half, capitalizing on turnovers and steady drive. The Dragons tied the game 22-22 late in the fourth quarter and got the ball in the first overtime. In the extra period, Wenonah took the lead on a 4th and 6 pass play, followed by a successful 2-point conversion to take a 30-22 lead. Tigers quarterback Whit Goodwin completed a short TD pass to Javon Poss to pull Russellville within 2 points at 30-28. On the 2-point conversion try, however, the Dragons stopped Russellville just a foot short of the end zone to seal the win. Mekhi Fowler led Wenonah's offense with 208 rushing yards, helping the Dragons move into this week's second round with a home game Friday night versus Moody in the AHSAA TV Network WOTM playoff game of the week. We move south to Mobile for our next highlight, with Baker High School hosting Hewitt-Trussville in a Class 7A first-round playoff clash. The Hornets relied on their staunch defense to pull out a 17-14 win over the Huskies in double overtime. The playoff win was the first for Baker in 40 years to become Region 1's only team to move to the second round this week. The defensive battle saw both teams struggle to score in regulation, with the game tied 7-7 at the end of the fourth quarter. In the first overtime, each team scored quickly. Hewitt-Trussville on a pass from Noah Dobbins to Dylan Cope for the touchdown, and Baker with Jawan Springs running in a touchdown. In the second overtime, Baker settled for a 22-yard field goal. Hewitt's ensuing possession ended dramatically when a high snap on the fourth down allowed Baker's Quintarius Robinson to make a game-saving tackle. Baker's LeGermany Treywick set the tone with a critical fourth down sack early on, and the Hornets prevented Hewitt from gaining any first downs in the fourth quarter. Springs, playing on both offense and defense, also had a key interception in regulation. With this win, Baker advances to face Region 2 fourth seed Enterprise, a 32-21 winner over Austin, in the 7A quarterfinals this week at Bill Bacon Stadium. Number 4 seed UMS Wright, coached by Hall of Famer Terry Curtis, pulled off a first-round shocker for the second year in a row, beating Region 3 number 1 seed Demopolis 21-7 in the Class 5A playoffs Friday. Last year, the Bulldogs were a number 4 seed and knocked off Central Clay County. This year, 6 number 4 seeds won over number 1 seeds, while 46 number 1 seeds posted wins. Denton Elliott had a big game for UMS Wright, hauling in a pair of TD passes as the Bulldogs advanced to the second round for the 14th straight year. Johnny Meganson had a key defensive play, blitzing through the line of scrimmage to swat an interception, a Demopolis pass, which he returned for a touchdown. The Bulldogs also executed a perfect double pass trick play, adding a touchdown as quarterback Max Fowler tossed a pass to Bo Wills behind the line of scrimmage, who then delivered a perfect strike to Elliott for the score. UMS Wright hosts Andalusia in round 2 Friday night in Mobile.